I think, one thing is finding ways and avenues to compete alone. That was a struggle. Um, and I think this year has been really difficult on all athletes, especially as far as getting competitions, but also weighing out the risk factor in there as well. And like also getting competitions, but also trying to stay consistent with training has been a hassle on everybody because you go do a competition and then you come back and you got to take 2 weeks off pretty much to quarantine and stuff. And so it's kind of been kind of crazy. So I mean, trying to figure out a schedule that works with continuing to grow, but also getting what you need as far as competitions, as the looks. Um, I mean, even as simple as getting training partners is hard, and it's especially hard on if you're traveling because you still have to quarantine when you get there. So I mean, it's all around been rough. I mean, it's kind of what Kayla said. Your world's kind of just flipped upside down, and so I think that's probably those things have kind of been the most difficult. Um, I think at first it was just finding a place to train, finding ways to train, um, and adjusting as fast and as quick as possible. But now, as things have gone on, and you've kind of gotten into the swing of things, it's been a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to showcasing everything when the time comes. For me, I think the way that I've grown a lot is where I used to be somebody, especially in my personal life. I used to struggle with things like depression and struggling with things in my own head and everything. I'm not saying I used to, like, they're gone, but I definitely still hold those things in my heart. But I think in a way, like, I kind of became an avenue for others who hadn't had to deal with certain things, where certain outside factors caused them to feel, this sadness or a sense of losing themselves. When we talk about sports, where people use things like this as a sense of identity. And I think in the same sense as talking with other people through that about how to really figure out who they are and how to carry themselves through this, that's also helped me as well. So I think it's kind of been a double-edged sword with that, as far as usefulness. I've talked with universities, I've talked with sports teams, all about things going on and how to deal with it, and what to do when feeling certain ways within this pandemic. And so I think I've definitely grown, that not only as someone who's overcoming his own battles and his own strife, but is also helping others and mentoring others to help them do the same. And I think that I've been blessed with people in my life who have helped me overcome my struggles. And I think with that, going into this situation that kind of abruptly came upon us, I was prepared to kind of deal with it and to face it. And I think that it's kind of like wrestling. When you wrestle yourself, like, you can get as good as you want, but when you coach too, when you're teaching somebody else, you actually grow a lot from that as well. And so I think it was just kind of the same factor there, where I was helping others with their struggles as well, and trying to help them to overcome the battles that I've faced as well. And I think the biggest thing for me that was awesome, that probably helped me, was that I think I've known this, but there's always good to get, I guess, some sort of clarity on it, that you're not alone in this. And that was kind of my message to a lot of these people, is like, you're not alone. A lot of people are facing this, and like, to not be afraid to talk about it, because more than likely somebody else wants to talk about it too, and you're frightened so much to do so because they think that they're the only ones. And so when you feel these emotions, you feel this way, go ahead and talk to somebody, talk to everyone, bring it up. You shouldn't be ashamed to talk about the struggles that you're going through, especially when more than likely a lot of other people are going through it too. But I think one of the biggest things is just to lead by example. If you want something to change, and be the example that you want, to be showed. And so that's what I try to do. I think the biggest thing for me through all of this was trying to be genuine. I've read, I read everything. So I've seen comments, especially on, these social issues. And, I think that the biggest thing is like trying to just be genuine to people, not looking to hurt anybody or anything, fight for what is right, and do what needs to be done. But, genuinely try to, communicate, be kind, and be loving, And that's the example that I try to uphold. Um, and through all this craziness, you know, it's been hard. You know, there's been a lot of questions. You know, I've had talks with friends who don't even know how to you know, even walk down the street anymore. You know, or how to even deal with all the craziness that's been going on, or how to how to talk about it. And you know, and it's been rough, but at the same time, it's been eye-opening, because I know even with my own personal experience with certain things, I remember there was a time where I just felt alone, and like oh, that's just a, like, I've only experienced this. And then, you know, I have to commend Nate for bringing everyone together on the BWA and saying, you know, like, hey, like we've experienced it, we feel this. And so, and really, once we all realized that we all had this, I guess, in common, of as far as what we've gone through and what we experience and what we feel, it really made us, you know, built us up and made us stronger to voice our opinions on things that need to change and things that need to be recognized and looked at. And I believe that in this country, you know, we need to take a look back, you know, because this is stuff that, you know, people look at it and they're like, it's something new. It's not new. Everything that's happened is something, everything that's happened, been happening, has been happening throughout our history. It is a part of American history, you know. And I know we want to sit here and say, you know, America is the greatest country in the world. And to me, I think that it is. But the problem with that is, whenever you start looking at something and you start saying that it's fine just the way it is, that's when the downfall starts to happen. And that's when, like, when you start saying like, oh, it's great, it doesn't mean that it's perfect. You know, it doesn't mean that we can't get better. It doesn't mean things don't need to change. You know, and that's from every social issue that you can think of. And so, you know, America is great. Yes, I will give you that. But at the same time, America still needs to grow. We are a young country, and we are not that far from the past of when things were a lot different. And so whenever people want to come in and they want to talk about these social issues, they need to remember that these are social issues that are not just brought up. It did not just happen. These are things that have been a part of our history throughout time. And that when they understand that, all right, that's when you know you can have a conversation with it. I always know I can't really have a conversation with someone who thinks this stuff is just brand new. It's not, all right? The only problem was, in school, they didn't teach you about it. They didn't tell you about it. You know, you didn't research about it, all right? That's how I know you don't understand what's really going on. Whenever I say, this is what's going on, and you're like, what? And it's like, no, it's not what, it's always been, all right? And so that's kind of where I come from about it, and trying to open people's eyes to that this is not new. This is stuff that's been around.